Imagine you are ignored by your family and never get your wishes granted. But then you are given the chance to switch to a parallel world where everything seems better. Will you accept the offer? However, be careful what you wish for. Coraline is a 9-year-old girl with the most curious mind. She loves exploring to beat her boredom. Coraline has just moved to the new town along with her family and rented an apartment in the Pink Palace. She roams around the town with a wooden stick in search of a rumored witch's well. That's when she runs into Wybie and his weird cat. He's the son of Coraline's landlord but has a wild imagination just like Coraline. The two kids get along really well, and Wybie also shows her a secret well that may belong to a witch. He also advises Coraline to stay away from random bushes just like the stick she was holding. It's a poisonous oak that can cause a rash. After getting back home, Coraline tries to get her mother's attention by telling her that she fell into the well and could have died. Unfortunately, the mother doesn't even listen to her. She doesn't even check Coraline's infected hand. The poor girl walks away with the package she received from Wybie. It's a stuffed doll that looks exactly like Coraline. She rushes to show it to her father to talk, but he doesn't have time either. Both of her parents are writers and hardly have spare time for their daughter. To keep her busy, the father gives Coraline the task to count all the doors and windows. While doing that, Coraline finds a suspicious place. The wallpaper in the living room is covering up a hidden door. Coraline requests her mother to open the door, but it only leads to a brick wall. Later that night at the dining table, Coraline requests her mother to cook some food for her. Sadly, her mother claims to be too busy for that, and Coraline has to eat the tasteless cooking of her father. After the unsatisfying meal, the little girl goes to bed for a peaceful sleep, but gets disturbed in the middle of the night. A jumping mouse is under her bed. Coraline follows the mouse to the living room and finds a portal behind the weird little door. She excitedly enters but finds the exact same house on the other hand. A delightful aroma is spreading around. Coraline follows it to the kitchen and finds her mother cooking. But her jaws drop as soon as she sees her mother's eyes. They are covered with buttons. The creepy woman introduces herself as Coraline's other mother and requests to call her other father. Coraline finds a man identical to her father in the study room except for the buttoned eyes. Together they enjoy the best meal Coraline ever had in her life. The other mother also checks Coraline's hand and applies medicine. Then she starts to feel sleepy, so her other parents take her to the room. It's decorated perfectly for a young, pampered girl. Coraline falls asleep in no time and wakes up the next morning back in her old room. She assumes it all was a dream and still wants to share it with her parents. Like always, they don't have time and send Coraline to talk with the neighbors instead. At the doorstep, she finds some mail that belongs to Bobinski, who lives in the same building. Bobinski owns a lot of pet mice. He believes that his mice are quite bright and know everything. He tells Coraline that his mice advised her to stay away from the little door. Coraline doesn't take the words seriously and proceeds to visit the ladies living in the basement. They are April and Miriam, who were once well-known actresses. They welcome Coraline warmly and serve her tea. They also have the talent to foresee the future from the used teacup and predict upcoming dangers in Coraline's life. The little girl starts to feel uncomfortable and leaves in a rush. Outside the building, she finds Wybie. Coraline asks him about the stuffed doll, but Wybie says he just randomly found it in her grandma's trunk. Coraline wants to know more about the doll, but Wybie can't stay near the Pink Palace for long. His grandma has forbidden him, and it's the first time she gave the apartment to a family with kids. There must be something in the building that should be kept away from kids. Coraline's curiosity grows even more. She leaves a piece of cheese in her room before going to sleep. The sound of jumping mice wakes her in the middle of the night. She follows it immediately and gets through the little door. The other mother is really delighted to see her again. While she prepares the dinner, Coraline goes to visit her other father. Unlike the real father, this man is an expert gardener. He has planted the most unique and magical flowers one could ever imagine. The other dad greets Coraline and takes her for a ride on his flying cart. By looking from the sky, Coraline realizes that the garden is in the shape of her face. It's made specially just for her. Afterward, they sit down for dinner. The other mother informs Coraline about the invitation from the other Bobinski, and the other Wybie is already here to join her. As Coraline doesn't like Wybie talking too much, so this other Wybie doesn't talk at all. Together, the kids visit Bobinski's apartment to see the jumping mouse circus. Everything was unbelievably fantastic, and Coraline loved the performance. The other parents give Coraline a goodnight kiss and she goes to sleep. The other day, as soon as she wakes up, Coraline checks the cheese and rushes to the little door. Unfortunately, her mother has already locked it. She takes Coraline to buy uniforms for her new school. Coraline wants to buy a pair of colored gloves, but her mother refuses. After coming back home, she promises to buy the gloves after they get the salary, but Coraline knows it will never happen. Her parents always delay her wishes and never fulfill them. There's not much food in the house, so the mother goes out to buy groceries. Coraline uses this chance to find the door key. It's hanging high above, but Coraline manages to get it. She opens up the door, and surprisingly, there's no wall. Everything she experienced wasn't a dream. Coraline happily gets inside her other home. She finds a gift box her other mother left there. It's a knitted suit for her, along with an invitation to a theater show. Coraline wears it immediately and rushes to the basement. She finds Wybe's cat on the way. It can talk in this world and warns Coraline of the danger ahead, but she doesn't bother and proceeds to her neighbor's place. It's transformed into a huge theater, and all the seats are filled with the dogs. Coraline sits down with Wybe and enjoys the show starring April and Miriam. In the end, they take off their old bodies like a costume and come out as young girls. They also involve Coraline in their performance, and she receives a big round of applause. Afterward, Coraline gets back home with her other parents. They give her another gift box with buttons and sewing material. If Coraline wishes to live with them forever, then she must sew the buttons on her eyes. Coraline panics in fear and excuses herself. She blocks her room's door with all the heavy materials she can find and gets in bed. She wants to get to sleep as soon as possible and wake up in her real house. After a few hours, she wakes up excitedly, but this time she doesn't return to the real world. Coraline rushes to the living room, but it's locked. She goes to ask the other father, but he confesses to being a puppet controlled by the mother. Coraline runs out of the house and keeps walking blindly. Wybe's cat also walks with her and tells her that there's no way out except the little door. No matter how far she runs, she will end up at the same place. Coraline breaks into the living room, but the little door is blocked by huge beetles. They all obey the other mother. Coraline gets angry and asks the other mother to let her go immediately. The creepy lady gets into her real form named Beldam and threatens Coraline. She throws the poor girl inside a mirror that leads to a scary dark room. There, Coraline finds 3 ghosts of the children who got into Beldam's trap before her. The cunning woman spied on the kids' life with the stuffed doll's eyes, and then she lured them into the other world. Afterwards, she stole their souls through the buttons sewn on their eyes. Their real eyes are hidden somewhere else. The ghosts request Coraline to find their eyes so they can be free. Before Coraline can reply, she is pulled out of the mirror by the other Wybe. He wants to help her. All the puppets aren't evil. They are just under the control of Beldam, who tortures them as much as she wants, just like she sewed Wybe's mouth. He helps Coraline to get to the little door, and Wybe pushes her to leave before Beldam returns. She finally gets back to her house and starts looking for her parents. The doorbell rings and Wybe comes to meet her. His grandmother wants to get back the stuffed doll. It belongs to her lost twin sister. Coraline tries to tell Wybe everything she experienced, but Wybe calls her crazy and leaves. Coraline finds her parents' car and phone, but she doesn't know where they went. She also asked her neighbors for help, but it was no use. But April gives her a valuable crystal. It's already night and the poor girl is alone in her house. She gets to her parents' room and sleeps between the pillows, considering them as her parents. She is woken up by Wybe's cat, who hints at where her parents are. They have been kidnapped by the other mother, and Coraline has to go to the other world to rescue them. The cat tells Coraline that the other mother loves games, so Coraline challenges her for a sneaky game. If Coraline succeeds in finding the eyes of the ghosts, the other mother should let her and all of the trapped souls go. But if she fails, Coraline must stay with the other mother. The game starts. April's crystal helps Coraline to spot the ghost eyes. It's stuck on the other father's cart. He attacks Coraline, but she escapes while the cart falls down in the river. Fortunately, the other father hands over the eye to Coraline. He meant no harm, but can't get against Beldam. The next place to visit is the basement. The dogs are turned into bats, and performers are turned into candy monsters stuck inside a wrapper. They grab Coraline, but she distracts the bats, which enables her to get the ghost eye from the wrapper. Then she visits the other Bobinski. All left is just a swarm of rats that run away with the last ghost eye. Coraline has lost her crystal too and almost gives up, but then Wybe's cat brings her the eye. The other world is slowly disintegrating, and Coraline must find her parents. Even if she wins, Beldam won't let her go, so she must play wisely. Coraline tells Beldam that her parents are inside the little door. While she opens it to prove her wrong, Coraline finds her parents are stuck in the globe. Once the door is open, Coraline throws the cat at Beldam's face, which pulls out her eyes, making her blind. The whole house breaks into a web. Coraline climbs up to the door, but Beldam follows her too. With the help of the ghost kids, Coraline locks the door and runs back home. Her parents are back too, and they don't remember anything at all. Moreover, their catalog got published and they are going to throw a party. They also bought Coraline's favorite gloves for her. The cat comes to visit her again, and Coraline sleeps with it and puts the ghost eyes under her pillow. The kids' souls are free, but they warn Coraline to discard the door key as soon as possible. She gets up in the middle of the night to throw the key, but Beldam's metal hand has followed her to this world. Fortunately, Wybie comes to the rescue at the right time. He breaks the Beldam's hand with a stone and they throw it in the well along with the key. Wybie had realized that Coraline was speaking the truth after his grandma told him everything. Her twin sister was also taken away by Beldam and killed brutally. Thankfully, that evil is locked away now. Everything gets back to normal, actually better, but who that intelligent cat actually was, that's going to remain a mystery.